Page 18, we wish you a Merry Christmas. This is a really nice arrangement of this piece. It's a little tricky with all the eighth notes moving around. Well, let's just take a look at it carefully and see what we can do with it. 3/4 time, 1 sharp of the key signature. We're in the key of G major. Make sure you can do the G major scale at least 1 octave up and down. 2 would be better, but 1. And while you're there, go ahead and do the E minor scale, because it also has 1 sharp in the key signature. Just do them both. Cover the key signature. Yeah. Right hand first. Let's cover things. Make sure I got some fingering suggestions. Coming in on pickup beat, so we're coming in on beat 3. 3 and 1 and 2 and during the rest you come down. During the rest come down. During the rest come, now 5th finger on measure 4. So again, 3, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 3 and 1 and 2. Again, we take advantage of the repeated notes to change hand positions. That's what all we're doing here is thumb. And then bring the thumb down. Don't bring the hand down, leave it where it is, just because you need, actually the hand goes up. You need 4th finger on the B. Now, on measure 10, they've got here and thumb again. I don't recommend it. I don't like using the thumb twice. Now, it's got phrasing in there, but if you read the words, it's not a break. That's not a phrase break in there. So I would suggest here, cross over and connect these 2, 3. Here. Here, just stay here and reach up. You can do that. And I connect all that together. So again, starting at measure 9, you're here. Connect. That's how I'd recommend you, because when we get to the articulation, I'm going to suggest you connect all that together. It's all one phrase. There's no reason to break there, except for the fingering they've offered, and I changed it. So, and then measure 12. Now you can thumb. If this is a new phrase, and we got the measure 16. Reach up, 2nd finger, octave. Try and connect the top note. You can't on the bottom note. The thumb's got it. Try and connect the top note. It feels weird, but it's a good skill to have in piano. And then you lift up and come up here. Same thing you were doing back on measure 5, just an octave higher. But when you get to measure 26, we got the same thing. Cross over 2 and stay there. So I can connect all that together. And then the end there from measure 29 on is similar to what you had at the beginning. Rest. Left hand at the beginning, both stabs are in treble clef. Did you notice that? So left hand's up here. 3 and 3 and 3 and 3 and. Isn't that fun? Now you get bass clef. Down here, 1, 2. Not a problem, I hope. Pretty straightforward. Measure 9, 4th finger, scrunch up a little bit. Rest. And measure 12, during the rest you come up. You want to connect all that together eventually. So it's a little weird because you kind of... Here, I'm not crazy about 1, 2, 1, but okay, that's fine. We'll do it. Thumb. Similar to the scale. If you can do the scale, this thumb, 3rd finger, and thumb thing should be pretty simple for you by now, I hope. And then measure 17, you're back down here. Put the hands together, so it's 1 and 2 and 3 and. It should sound like one hand played all of that. And while you're doing that, you get the left hand or the right hand down. The 2nd finger there because of the black key. You work that out so all those eighth notes are even. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1. And connect them all right now. Get the idea? I don't see anything tricky about this once you can get the introduction and the coda. The coda is that. A coda is just like a thing on the end. It may not be labeled coda, it doesn't matter. It's a tag on the end. This piece ended on the first 2 beats of measure 28, right there. It's over, because that's where the singing ended. This rest of it is just an afterthought, similar to the introduction. Once you can do that, then go through it however many times it takes, and get rid of all the hesitation so it is a steady beat. Go as slow as you gotta go, but the whole thing needs to be a steady beat. Don't be speeding up and slowing down in places. Steady beat. Then the articulation. On the staccatos, they're all flexing at the wrist and they're all short. And then connect. And then lift up. In other words, don't connect them. Here. That's fine. I prefer them all connected myself. Then you can do that. Lift up. Lift up. Don't lift up. See, I'm following the words as far as where the phrasing goes and when to lift up in the right hand. So if you have a comma, you can lift up. You have a period, you can lift up. If there's nothing there, I don't lift up. I keep going. Although if you want to lift up, I guess that's up to you, but I don't. The left hand, I'm connecting it. Then hit lift up here. In my opinion, you just connect this left hand. I see no reason to put the phrasing in the left hand. Try it both ways and see what you like, but it makes it more complicated when you're putting in phrasing in the left hand also. It's a little easier if you just connect it all, except lift up for the rest, of course. Now at the bottom of page 19, let's start about measure 32, you're here. Staccatos, hinge at the wrist, that's fine. Dynamics, go to the melody. For the introduction part of the first 4 more measures, it's both hands. There's no melody. Whatever you think loud is. Not super loud, just loud. But then when you get to measure 4, the left hand when it comes in is soft. The right hand is loud. Come down a bit to sort of loud. The left hand's soft. And that's a little tricky here because the left hand's got its own little melody going on, and so you're using different fingers in the hands at the same time. You may have to go here, here, here. Make sure that work out. And then here. At the end, pick up to measure 21, you're up to loud again. You see, the idea with measure 13 and coming down a little bit is so we have some contrast in the music. The whole thing isn't just going to be loud. We've got to have a little bit of contrast or that it gets boring. So you come down at pick up to measure 13 and connect all this as best you can. But then when you go back to the original melody, you're loud again. And then you're loud for the rest of it through except for the very end. Let's start with measure 33, you're here. Soft or sort of soft, both hands. It's kind of an afterthought, or an afterthought of the afterthought. Now, as far as the speed goes, well, this is a happy piece. Spiritoso, to me, is with spirit. So, You're happy here, so be happy in that order. But it has to be accurate. So don't go so fast. And if you're going to sing it, how fast would you be singing it? Because if I didn't sing it, I'd play it a little quicker. So hold back. Don't get too carried away on the speed. I like to play it with you very slowly to double check the notes and the rhythms. Not going to do any dynamics. I'll do the staccatos and the phrases. And I'm going to play both hands about the same. We're not performing it. We're just checking for notes and rhythms. So I'm going to give us 2 counts because we come in on beat 3. And this will be very slow now because of the 8th notes. I'm going to go ready and go and then we go and. Ready and go and 3 and 1 and. Rest and. Rest and.